correctly.
Elsewhere this week, cafes, pubs and restaurants have submitted claims for more than 35 million meals in the first 2 weeks of the Eat Out to Help Out scheme. Offers diners 50% off, up to £10 every Monday, Tuesday and Wednesday through August. After today, you've just got 4 more days to enjoy it. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday next week and Bank Holiday Monday. Well, let's get more on how the hospitality industry has been affected and how it's also been supported during the pandemic. Earlier on, I spoke to Steve Medway, the place manager at Cadogan. They manage properties across 90 acres of Chelsea and Knightsbridge. And, of course, hospitality plays a huge part in the life of the area. And Steve was telling me how things have changed over the last few months.
So across the estate, we have been supporting our restaurants by increasing the amount of al fresco dining. I think we've seen it across a lot of London. But for the first time in Chelsea now, you'll see over 500 extra tables and chairs. This has meant that the restaurants have been able to run at almost 85% capacity compared to the normal, which is fantastic. And if you come down, you'll see that we've got Pavilion Road, which we've closed to vehicles, which means now we've got tables and chairs outside. And for those of you that don't know where that is, that's just behind Peter Jones, and it's our new fantastic foodie and artisan street. Duke York Square near the Saatchi Gallery, that's now covered with tables and chairs, and we've expanded all of the restaurant areas. And then even the running track for the first time has now been converted into a picnic area at weekends for the fine food market. So we've really been doing as much as we can as a landlord to support our businesses.
And was that difficult working through the government guidance, trying to work out what meant what, and how you're going to implement certain things based on certain rules?
Yeah, I think the local authorities, so Royal Borough of Kensington and Chelsea, have been fantastic in setting this new online platform that's made it a lot easier for our businesses to navigate all the different restrictions and planning. And I think, we've welcomed the new government legislation in allowing this to happen, because it's just really, really made, the outside areas and dining fantastic.
And did some of your hospitality tenants really struggle during the first period of lockdown, that moment that we went into March when restaurants and cafes and pubs and bars and etc. had to close? What were they saying to you?
Yeah, I think for everyone, when you close your business down for 3 months, it's going to be tough, and, retail, restaurants alike. But as a landlord, we were there and we've supported them through rental deferments, and we've given out packages up to £15 million. So, as a landlord, we want to make sure that the businesses and Chelsea, survives and thrives through the times that we're in.
Has what the government's been doing helped, or would you like to see them do more?
I think, listening, it's definitely helped. I think, without the packages that the government has given to date, I think more and more businesses would have had a worse experience than they have. But I think, the hospitality industry, it's still tough for them. We don't have the international tourists coming in. So, if any of this help can be further prolonged, then that's only going to be a positive move.
So you're really hoping that the people from the local area really take advantage of the great hospitality that they have on their doorstep?
Yeah, we're really lucky in Chelsea that we've got residents that live there. We've seen them come out, since everything's reopened from the 4th of July. They're out every weekend and during the week, making the most of what's on offer. And there's a real buzz. I think, everyone forgot what it was like to be out and dine and, see people. We're lucky in Chelsea that, there's enough open space that, we can adhere to the social distancing rules. So it feels really safe and a great, vibrant environment to enjoy, really.
Well, we've been so lucky with the weather. There's been sort of an explosion of al fresco dining, which has obviously helped because of the social distancing that we've had to put in place because of the pandemic.
Yeah, exactly. And I think, we've been very fortunate with the weather. I think I can't remember a spring and a summer like this for a long time.
One little thing that was on our side.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, it's really, really helped, the experience of what we've done, and I think, it would have been very different if it was raining the whole time.
Are you anxious about the future? We're going into September soon. It means the Eat Out to Help Out scheme will stop, and obviously the weather could take a turn as we head towards autumn and winter.
Obviously, we don't know what the future will hold, but we're there to help and support our businesses as we have done to date, and I think we will look at as many opportunities as there are for us to do that.
Steve Medway there from Cadogan. You are listening to LBC News. It's approaching 3 o'clock in the next hour here on LBC News. Elsewhere, today is the last day of the penultimate week of the Eat Out to Help Out scheme. The first 2 weeks, we know now, cost the government £180 million. 35 million meals have been claimed under the Treasury's 50% discount for trips out on a Monday, a Tuesday or a Wednesday in the first 2 weeks of August. More than 85,000 venues have signed up, meaning they will be reimbursed. Let's talk more about this now here on LBC News, joined by Miles Kirby, founder of the Caravan and Vado restaurants. Afternoon to you, Miles. How has the scheme been for you?
Do you know what? It's the Eat Out to Help Out scheme has been it's been a real success, actually. I think when it was first announced, everyone was a little sceptical as to whether it was going to really have much of an impact at all. But the evidence suggests that Mondays, Tuesdays, and Wednesdays for the last sort of 2.5 weeks have been absolutely fantastic trading for not only us but many of my friends in the industry as well who own restaurants.
How have things been at the weekends, the other days that it's not working?
Do you know what? I think our restaurants have been absolutely fine. I do have some friends that they say that they were concerned that trade was going to drop off a cliff from Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, but it doesn't really seem to have been the case. I think maybe the entire scheme is doing part of what it's designed to do, which is to increase a little bit of consumer confidence and get them out of their house and let them see that going out and dining in restaurants is completely safe and a fun thing to do.
Are you worried about what's going to happen in September?
Listen, I think throughout this period we've always had to err on the side of caution with every decision that we make, or with every sort of every milestone along the way, or landmark decision that the government's made. We've always been cautious about it. We've always been careful to make sure we put our people first and look after them. I feel like there's hope.
You talked a little bit about what the government has said has got to happen in order for your restaurants to reopen. How have you found dealing with things like social distancing, getting PPE in? How's that been for you in your restaurants?
Listen, I think it was all new and it was all a bit of a rush to open. We opened 2 restaurants on the 4th of July, which was the first day we could, which was our restaurant in Chelsea, Vado, and our restaurant in King's Cross on Granary Square, Caravan there. So I think everyone was super hyper sensitive to making sure that we did everything as well as we possibly could, where it came to removing tables and making sure distancing was right, and labelling and putting signage up and making sure there was PPE and soap and disinfectant stuff all around. So I think while we lost a few tables inside to make sure it was safe for people, we also had some great conversations with landlords about extending outside areas, so that we could sort of offset some of that loss with a bit of extra space, and that we've been very thankful for that.
Yeah, and how have you made al fresco dining work at your restaurants?
Well, listen, we've always had in all of our restaurants, bar one actually, we've got outside areas, so we've always we've got practice in making it work. But sort of certainly at our restaurant in Chelsea, Cadogan Estate have given us the opportunity to trade now on the roof. We've opened a champagne bar where we sell champagne and rosé and a few cocktails, which is fantastic. They've given us that extra space, and they've also allowed us to put about another 80 seats out on Duke of York Square, which has certainly been a challenge. When on the first couple of days when the sun came out, we were inundated with people wanting to sit in the sun and enjoy what we do, but because we hadn't had an outside space there before. But we learn quickly, and that's what we're in the business of doing, and adapting and being nimble and trying to change what we do to make the best out of a bad situation. So.
And just finally, looking forward to the rest of the year, do you expect the government to do more? Would you like the government to do more? And how do you think that might affect business at your restaurants?
Oh, listen, I think I'd love the government to do more. I think we don't have all of our restaurants open yet. We've got 2 locations, one in Great Portland Street in the city, and then we've also got one in Bankside. So there's predominantly office areas there, and I think what we need is for people to get back to work. I mean, as long as it's safe, it would be great if they're back to work and they're back out spending, using our services and coming to see us and letting us do what we do best. We'll make sure we look after you. We'll make sure people are safe, and that's industry wide. I hope some more happens, but we're also very grateful for what has happened so far. I think the furlough scheme has been a game changer. We've managed to hang on to all of our people that have wanted to stay. Which there were dark days at the start of the pandemic where we thought we were going to have to let a lot of people go, and we're glad we made the right decisions along the way, and we kept a hold of them, and we were able to wrap our arms around them and support them. So anything like that continues to save jobs and protects our industry that the government can come up with is going to be very welcome indeed.
Miles Kirby there joining me here on LBC News. It's 20 minutes past 1. We'll have the latest headlines for you next.
LBC News.